Hey, slow down. Okay, remember I was telling you about my dog being sick? Well, here she is, just as perk as strut. She's on the right side. Thank you. You're welcome. Buck, slow down. She's just as perk as strut. Slow down, Buck. I don't know what it is with him. He's getting a little bit pulley here last couple of times. I wasn't able to walk him at night. I came home, you know, I don't know, 10:30 last night. So I mean, not that that's a deal breaker, it's just that I was a little bit beat down. But to keep the streak alive, which is 120 consecutive days now by the end of this month, October, of walking them every day, at least once, sometimes twice a day, but at least once a day. So I didn't do it yesterday, so we're doing it in the morning to make up for last night. There was a guitar player, I think his name is Lee. He used to be a lead guitarist in Ozzy Osbourne's band back in the 90s, I think, or something like that, here in Las Vegas. And he was walking his dog and he got shot 3 times. They found 15 cases, you know, shell casings at the site. And it was a random attack. Can you fucking believe that shit? He's out walking his fucking dogs and randomly gets shot at 15 fucking times, gets hit 3 times. He's in the hospital, he survived. But dudes, I want to see the fucking storyline on that son of a bitch. How the fuck can you get shot at 15 times in a random attack? I don't get that. There's got to be a story behind that story. Whether it'll come out in the news, who knows. But in any case, he did survive. You know, the dude's probably got it made. But here I am, doing the same thing, walking my fucking dogs. Now, I usually do carry my Walther with me, but it's in my car and I didn't have the fucking keys to my car when I get down into the garage, and I'm not going to go back upstairs and get them. So, but we are going to put a key. Come on, guys, quit bouncing off each other like rubber yo-yos. We are going to put a key for the car, key card, hidden in the garage so that I can get into my car irregardless of whether or not I have the keys or not. Does that make sense, guys? Slow down, boys. Slow down. Because that way I can get in the car, get my gun, get my belly hoster, the whole fucking shebang. Boy, hey, quit pulling so much. Stop. You're getting too excited. Stop. This is, for some reason, he's been going fucking AWOL ballistic. Now keep in mind, we haven't been walking with both dogs until just recently. So, I don't know, man. It's like he wants to stay one step ahead of the female now. Like he's the fucking enchilada main leader here. Now the female, she's coming back and she's perk strut. She's got to get a little bit more energy and focus, and then she'll put the male back in his place. It's nice to see her out. I mean, look at that tail. You talk about a perk strut dog. After not eating anything for 3.5 weeks. I thought she was a fucking goner. But she's in remission. We don't know how long it's gonna be or whatever, but as long as she's eating and she's happy, that's what keeps her in remission and living a healthy lifestyle. Can you imagine getting shot at 15 fucking times? A random? Dude, that could be me walking at 10:30 at night. That's not going to stop me from walking at 10:30 at night in my neighborhood here, but I don't know where they didn't say where this guy lives or where it happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they want to scare the people in the neighborhood or something or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. But I don't know, man. Let me tell you guys, getting shot at 15 times random? Even the investigators have got to be like, okay, man, what's the backstory here? What is this, drugs? Fucking, you know, are you messing around with somebody's wife? Or, you know, what's going on here? Buck, you're pulling too much, Buck. Hey, stop. We gotta nip this in the bud, man. This doggone dog is pulling way too much. It's been like that the last several nights, days, whatever. But in any case, I do believe there might be a story behind the story there. Whether it'll all come out in the wash, who knows? But I find that very difficult to believe that it'd be random. And also, how's the dog? Did the dog survive? Okay, let's go see if our buddies are here. We've got some Huskies that live at this house right here. I do see the guy walking his dog near my house occasionally too. So he does walk his dogs too, but I think he only had one of them with him that day. They got him inside. Otherwise they'd be standing up on him. Buck, who's pulling? Slow it down. I know it ain't the female. It's that fucking male dog trying to pull, get ahead of her. Try to instill that he's the boss now after she's been gone for a while. Hey, quit pulling. Stop. There's no knee issues anymore, gentlemen. That's what, after I've been walking, my knees are now strong. So there's, although occasionally you can get a little tweak if they start pulling too fucking much. Go pee pee, girl. Slow down, Buck. This is a 2-mile walk. I figure I'll bring you guys along. We're gonna give you an in-depth video of the suspension system on the 392 final edition. And it actually may be the final edition, final edition. They quit pulling. You're getting too fucked up. Dude, I can't. We don't need to have that fucking excessive pulling. He's being a jerk. Stop pulling. Control your fucking anxiety. Excuse my French, but yeah, the 392. We're gonna give you an in-depth video on the King Coil, Evo King Coil Stage 4 system. Why coil? Why coilovers? Nope. There's glass on the sidewalk right here, so we're gonna get off of the sidewalk. Well, you can adjust they're adjustable. You can adjust the ride height. Better performance, better handling, less body roll. Now, if you ever look underneath a vehicle, you have the shocks, and then just inside the shocks, you have the coil springs. Okay? Now, the simple fact that the coils are way more to the outside of the vehicle alone tells you that there's less body roll when you take a corner. The shocks, the coils are simply farther out to the outside of the vehicle. So those are a couple of reasons why you go with coilover suspension system, because of the adjustability and because of the less roll, because of the performance, because of the handling. The drawbacks is coilovers are they're very expensive, and it requires someone with a lot of mechanical expertise to install. There's metal cutting, there's welding, you gotta weld brackets for your upper and lower control arms. So, you know, there's a lot of welding of these brackets to the axles. But you know, let me tell you something, man. When you weld something to metal, a bracket to the axle, there's an extremely tremendous amount of heat going to that axle and to the lubrication in the axle. I wonder if they kind of cool it down as they're welding, or do they weld a certain amount of it and then stop and then weld the rest? Because it will heat up tremendously to the point where it will turn the oil inside of your axle into baked tar. So I need to ask them about that, how they do that, and you know, does it fuck up your axle lubrication? Go girl, go girl. Yeah, she's not pulling, but he's the one, he's being the instigator. Like I said, the female's been out of the lineup for a while, so he thinks he's the boss, and he wants to get out front and show that he's the boss now. But as soon as the female left, as soon as the female gets, she's probably 95%. Once she gets back to 100%, she's gonna put that male dog back in his place. I may have overkilled it today. It is cold out, but wearing a chook might have been a little overkill. But my head was wet from taking a shower, so, and I'm susceptible to ear aches, so we definitely got to protect the ears. I did put a blow dryer on my head. Okay, there's been a kitty cat right here that's been starving. Now, I haven't seen her for about 10 days. So either she got picked up by somebody, she got killed by a dog, or she got killed by a coyote, or she starved to death. But I do have some dog bones out right here. If she was still here, she would eat these dog bones. You can see they're right there. And they're still there. They've been there for 5 days, 6 days. If that little kitty cat was still in this area, she would eat those dog bones up, milk bones, in 2 seconds. And I would have put a handful there every day. But they're still there. It's been 5, 6 days. So, like I said, she's either, hopefully somebody picked her up and took her in. But she was very skinny. You got to get your dog, sir. They're gonna bite him. No worries. I just don't want your dogs to get hurt. Come on. You know better than that. Hey. Let's just say my dogs are not very socially adjusted. I've had an issue where, you know, you get these dogs, they come running at you. You know, these boys right here, they think that's aggression. I mean, the female dog will probably let it go, but that male, he's not going to take any bullshit from any dog. A dog comes running and he's gonna put a nip stick on him. So it's happened before. And my dog bit the dog. Then the owner of the dog said, "Hey, your dog bit my dog." I said, "Well, sir, your dog ran at us like he was going to take my head off. You need to keep your dog under control." The sidewalk is city property. That dog comes onto the sidewalk. Now, if I'm in your driveway, okay, you got me. But if I'm on the city sidewalk or city street and your dog approaches my dog with aggression, my male dog ain't gonna take no bullshit. He's pretty, he's very lackadaisical with his sister here and with Gagey, you know what I'm saying, when Gagey was over here. But with other dogs, if there's any sign of aggression, this motherfucker turns into a goddamn gorilla. An angry gorilla. He's a pretty tough cookie. But in any case, just another beautiful two-mile walk. I'm a little sweaty now. This sweatshirt is very nice, very warm. But it may be too warm. But we got what we got. We do this walk at we're gonna stay in the shade. We usually go on the other side of the street there, but we're gonna stay in the shade today, so Daddy's engine stays cool. These guys went on a trip with this trailer. I'm sure they got an UTV inside of there. Watch your head, Buck. Hey. Let's go. Come on. Anyways, action-packed. Like I said, because I spent so much money on my Jeep and on the lift kit, I decided that it's time to go to work for a while, pay off some bills. You know, certainly, you know, pay off all the, I want to pay off all the little stuff, window tint, the fucking, I got to order a brake controller and an adapter. That's $330 with tax. We've got our cell phone holders in there. We decided we're not going to go with any other aftermarket fenders. We decided we're not going to put a roof rack on. It's too heavy. We decided we're not going to do stickers on the windows with this Jeep. We're going to keep no stickers. I never used to do that kind of stuff. I got carried away with my other Jeep, but we're not going to go that way. So no snorkel, of course. This Jeep has a built-in snorkel on it, to where if water comes up over the hood, which will never happen, by the way, because my Jeep is so fucking high. But if water comes up over the hood and goes in through the breather element on the hood scoop, there's actually a system that transfers that water away from the air cleaner and out. So, I mean, if you Google the vehicle, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, we'll do a in-depth video. We'll show you the underneath of the Jeep, the suspension components, everything. Now there's right now the Jeep, you're riding the Jeep right now, the back is a little bit lower than the front. They said that they will probably settle down, so you need to drive it for 1,000 miles and see if it comes down. If it doesn't, there's a tool that you can adjust the shocks. That's why you go with a King coilover system, and you can use that tool to elevate the back end of the Jeep. And it's also going in 1,000 miles. It goes in for the they check the torque on all the bolts again. So we're gonna get a trip in, but unfortunately Torrey, Utah is too cold. Bryce Canyon City's too cold. Duck Creek Village is too cold. This is already going into November here. This is October 23rd or 22nd, I guess. We got good fights this weekend with the Ilya Topuria Max Holloway. I believe Ilya will win that fight. The other one is Whitaker and Chimaev. I believe that's a tough one to pick. They're all tough to pick, but Ilya's, you know, Max has got a couple of bad things going for him. Number one, Ilya is at the top of his fucking game. Two, I mean, he might be the best striker I've ever seen in my life. Such good hands up all the time, right next to his face. He's extremely fast, extremely defensive, and he punches like a fucking ox. But in any case, not only is he going up against a prime fighter, Ilya, but also Max is cutting down to 145. That's not his weight. I mean, he fought at that weight division for years, but he looks so emaciated right now. He certainly can't get that strength back in one fucking night. So just because of those two things alone, Ilya is going to beat him up, probably knock him out. You know what I'm saying? They should be fighting. And Max would have a better chance if they were fighting at 155 instead of 145. So, and if O'Malley thinks he's going to fight Ilya one day, O'Malley is a skinny runt kid. Ilya would just break this fucking kid in half. Any way he wants to do it. Ilya could take him down and terrorize him, but Ilya would probably box him and knock the fucking kid out. That's just the way it is. That's just one man's opinion, but Ilya is just too fucking tight, guys. I still have my tires. I did have a couple of knocks on them. You know, a couple of ridiculous offers, you know, $1,500 and shit like that. You know, but I did lower the price down to $3,000 for them. And I might go even lower than that. I might go $2,500. It'd be nice to have that money. Those tires are just money in the bank, just sitting there. Someone eventually will buy them. I'll lower the price and they'll be gone. You're considering buying an extended warranty for the lift kit. Let me tell you right now, those coils are not going to break. The welds are not going to break. The seals are not going to leak for 10 years. It's very unlikely, you know what I'm saying? These are racing shocks, so they're not going to just break or start leaking, especially under a little above average riding, rough riding conditions, you know what I'm saying? But man, so I doubt I'll probably pass on the warranty. It's $5. Get a load of this. The warranty at this store is like 10%, but he said I'll just sell it to you for $500. It's a bunch of bullshit. But the warranty at 4-Wheel Parts is fucking $2,500. That store, and then they had a $450 warranty on the tires. That's $3,000 in warranties on that initial bill, which they did wipe off. At the end of the day, when I decided to go with Off-Road Warehouse versus 4-Wheel Parts was about $700-800 higher, but just because of all that bullshit they added on the bill, you know, $300 for shop extras and cleanup materials and lubrication. Off-Road Warehouse charged me $45. You get what I'm saying? 4-Wheel Parts has become the donkey of fucking lift kits installations. So you got to be wary. Oh yeah. So you're not going with the heavy fenders. You're not going with the roof rack. You're not going to put the awning on. I'm always going to take a canopy with me. The one thing good about a canopy, when you have it set up alongside of the Jeep, you can set it up so that the poles touch the tires, so you can loosely tie it off to the tires. But so if the wind blows it, all it does is touch the tires, and it touches the rubber trim on the wheel well. But if it gets windy, you just jump up there and you grab the fucking tarp and peel it off the off of the corners. There's Velcro on the corners. When you peel it up and lift it up, it just blows right off the top. So you can remove it very quickly. So that's going to be our it takes the place of the awning. So you're going to try to eliminate weight that's high on the vehicle. So we have already got a massive lift, probably 4.5 inches of lift. I would say there's probably 4.5 in the front and 4 in the back. So it has to be at some point lifted up a little bit. I can do it myself. As a matter of fact, back up. If you start lifting up the front too much, then you have to have it realigned. But here's the box with all the stuff. Oh, inside of one of these boxes somewhere, I'm not going to go through it now, but there's a tool. They got the Bilstein shocks in here and shit, which you'll keep. I think one of those Bilsteins might take the place of the steering dampener too. But there's a tool in here that it clips into the holes on the shock, which are every, say, 1.25 inches. You can turn it, so, and you can track it. Okay, so you did one turn, one hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. There's a tool here somewhere, and if there ain't, it's in one of those boxes. Back up. One of these days, I'll go through those boxes and I'll find that tool. But once they adjust it, you'll never have to fuck with it again. So, but we'll be bringing it in for the anywhere between 500 and 1,000 miles. I was going to go to Utah, but it's too cold, so we'll probably end up going to like Coal Creek, and we'll take, I gotta order the brake controller, because if I go to Coal Creek, I want to take the rig. Or you might go to Logandale Trail System, you want to take that rig for sure, and the dirt bike. Actually, you won't take the mountain bikes there. You just take the rig and the dirt bikes. But we do need to have the brake controller installed. Not absolutely imperative, but it'll be here by Monday. It's a very easy installation. So there's a video on YouTube of doing it, and it's a very easy calibration. So it's a simple little dial. Oh man, you just got to read the instructions. It's pretty basic. There's an adapter that plugs into the module, and then from there there's a adapter that plugs into that adapter, and then it plugs into your Jeep. Plug and play. It gets it, that plug-in gets its power source, the whole fucking enchilada, man. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Just wanted to take the dogs out. Gonna give you an update on the 392 suspension, and you know, it's just a great, I'm working a lot now, at least for a while. So you know, I'm gonna take it 2 months. I'll work pretty heavy duty for 2 months, and then I'll work heavy. If it goes well, then I'll do another 2 months. So and then back to taking it easy. So that's the plan anyways so far. Anyways, I'm gonna shut you down.